Thanks very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you very much for calling this hearing. I think it's a very important topic, and I think it goes to one of our core values as a country, and that's religious freedom and tolerance. We pride ourselves on being a unique and diverse society, which means we've got to accept many differences, different creeds, different colors, different ethnicities. And that's important to the concept of America, to be a united country that respects these differences. And into this creeps this suspicion and creeps hate. So the topic today is religious hate crimes. And I think it doesn't matter if it's a hate crime based on one's religion, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender, or any other element of our shared values and humanity as a country. We've got to condemn every form of it, no matter who is targeted, and I believe that to the depth of my being. I'm hopeful that this committee can begin and continue to work on this, even as we focus on one part of it, which is religious hate today. While the federal government has an important role to play in helping state and local governments address hate crimes, I want to make clear that change needs, in my view, to take place on the local level. Each community faces its own unique challenge when it comes to racial and religious bias. And I think back as my time in local government for some 18 years, 9 as a county supervisor and 9 as a mayor. And I remember when swastikas were painted on synagogues, and I got on the phone, I called the chief of police, I said, you go down there, you look at it, you have your people do something about it, and I made a strong public statement that this was not going to be tolerated in my city. Same thing happened with other kinds of crimes designated at people because of who they are, their religion, their race, their, whether they're straight or gay. So my view is it's very important to address it. It's very important to say we're not going to allow it. And it's very important for leaders not to shrink from this, but to lead in it. And so in a sense, this is a start. And I think everybody on this dais understands and wants to really create a different society that does not countenance this kind of hate. According to the Anti-Defamation League, there have been reports of 541 anti-Semitic incidents in the first 4 months of this year. That's an increase of 86% compared to the number of incidents recorded over the same period the year before. There have been 380 harassment incidents, 161 bomb threats. That's an increase of 127% over 2016. Bomb threats were called into more than 80 Jewish community centers and children's day schools located in 33 states and 2 Canadian provinces. One day, February 27th of this year, there were 31 threats called into 23 Jewish community centers and 8 Jewish day schools. That's 31 bomb threats in a single day. These crimes sparked tremendous fear, and thankfully, the Justice Department has arrested the men responsible, and no one was injured or killed. Hate crimes against Muslims and those perceived to be Muslim have also increased at an alarming rate. And these crimes include horrific murders. I'd like to draw your attention to a map which shows recent incidents of anti-Muslim hate crimes tracked by Muslim Advocates, an organization that's a leader on this topic. And you can see where they are concentrated. and I find that very interesting as well. It counts for 254 separate incidents since November the 15th to the present. In 2016 alone, the Southern Poverty Law Center also found the number of anti-Muslim hate groups tripled in 2016, going from 34 in 2015 to 101 Muslim hate groups last year. Similarly, the FBI's hate crimes data also captures this sharp increase during that same period. In my home state of California, according to researchers from Cal State San Bernardino, hate crimes against American Muslims increased 78% in 2015. Attacks on perceived Muslims also rose sharply. So, what can be done? First, it's incumbent, as I said, on all leaders to loudly condemn these crimes. That includes race as well as religion. In my view, the rise in hate crimes is due in part to the perception that people in positions of power are indifferent to what's happening, don't prioritize the protection of the rights of all Americans, and don't speak out. So we've got to stand together, and we have to make clear that hate has no place in our country, and these crimes will be investigated, and the seriousness will be taken into consideration in the sentencing. Second, we need to ensure that communities and law enforcement have the support and resources they need to prevent and investigate these crimes. Where state and local agencies and victims need federal support, the Justice Department needs to provide it. And third, the federal government must improve the reporting of hate crimes. And reporting's key because it increases awareness and accountability, but it's inadequate today. So if we don't have an accurate picture of what's happening, it's much harder for Justice and FBI to address the problem. The Hate Crime Statistics Act of 1990 required the FBI to collect hate crimes data and develop reporting guidelines for state and local law enforcement. Now, the quality of that data has improved over time. The Justice Department revised its incident report to collect data on hate crimes against Sikh, Hindu, Arab, Buddhist, Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, and Orthodox Christian individuals. 26 of us requested that change, but we can and must do better. Many states and local jurisdictions still don't report hate crimes to the FBI. While the FBI typically reports 5,000 to 10,000 hate crimes, the true number, it's said, may approach 300,000, which is 30 times the FBI estimation. Senator Hatch and I just introduced a bill to update the Church Arson Prevention Act of 1996 to prevent the intentional making of threats to religious property. Now, that's a big deal. If someone goes to another's church and defaces it, or puts a bomb there, or writes threatening graffiti on it, it has an impact on a wide range of people. And so it has to be taken very seriously. Let me end by quoting Nobel laureate and Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel. Sometimes we must interfere. When human lives are endangered, when human dignity is in jeopardy, national borders and sensitivities become irrelevant. Whenever men or women are persecuted because of their race, religion, or political views, that place must at that moment become the center of the universe. So with that before us, Chairman Grassley, I want to thank you very much for working with us and for also holding this hearing. Thank you.
It's nice of you.